Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. Welcome back. I'm happy that you are here. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur trying to get over that hump and make things happen. This podcast is for anybody with a dream that wants to go forward and accomplish that dream. Last week, I was a little under the weather. Not a little, a lotto. I was a lotto under the weather last week, so I didn't do a video for last week's episode, but I still put out there that health is wealth, and we have to be healthy in every sense of the word to be our best selves. And I'm not no stranger to mental health, depression, all of those things. I talk about it a lot on these episodes on Mogul Motivation as it pertains to dream chasing and going after your goals in entrepreneurship, because it's real. It's real. It's a battle that we have to battle daily, and it's a battle that's never going to stop. So with that being said, this week I feel a little better as far as the sickness goes. The cold is over with, it's gone, it has passed, and I'm thankful for that. But I've been feeling weighed down, because I was sick last week. I couldn't get a lot of things done, so therefore I'm playing catch up this week on top of the things that I have to do this week. But all of that is still piled onto the burden that I constantly and continually carry in my daily life, in my entrepreneurial life, in my personal life, and it's basically it's been very heavy this week for me. And I think it's no coincidence that I feel this way at this moment, at this time. We're in December now. We're at the end of the calendar year 2022. We are approaching the winter months. I don't think it's no coincidence. And on top of that, the fact that I've been trying to pivot. I'm not going to say trying. I've been pivoting my business this entire year, shifting from one avenue to another avenue. It's no coincidence that I feel like this in this moment. And I feel like that's because I'm currently being excavated. The process of excavation is when you are digging up old dirt, old soil, and you're creating a new ground so you can build on top of that. And I believe that's what's going on with me right now. I believe I'm being spiritually, mentally, and emotionally excavated, which is a very painful mental and emotional process to go through for anybody. It's painful to answer and ask these hard questions to yourself in regards to your life and why things are going in your life. It's very painful to deal with the realities that you don't want to be reality, but nonetheless it is reality. It's very painful to go through all of this introspection and excavation in your life to get down to the root of why you feel the way you feel and the root of where you want to be. And that's what I feel like I'm going through right now in my current entrepreneurial journey and in my life, ladies and gentlemen. And I feel like if you feel this way, it could be the same for you. If you feel weighed down, if you feel like you have to ask yourself hard questions that you can't dodge any longer, if you feel like there are some things that's going on your journey that you cannot ignore, but yet it's painful for you to address it head on, it's because you are being excavated. It's because all of that old baggage, all of that old dirt, all of that old soil that's in your spirit has to be dug up. You have to be cleaned out 100%, because when you go into this next chapter in your life, when you go into this next year in your life, this new phase, this new pivot in your business, whatever it may be, you have to be 100% clean and brand new. You cannot take baggage. You cannot take old dirt. You cannot take old soil. You cannot take the old into the new. We are always going to remember the past. We are always going to remember what we've been through and what we endured and what we persevered through. But you cannot take that life into your new life if you want to live your best self. I told you last week that health is wealth on the last episode. We have to be healthy mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. You cannot take the old in with the new, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be a new transformation, a new life, a new person, a new mind, a new spirit, if you really want the things that you want. And understand this, the power of the tongue is very powerful. Like, that's no phrase. And I've been experiencing this recently too, as I'm going through this excavation, as all of this old dirt, all of this old soil, all of these old habits are being dug up and scraped up out of me. I have experienced a couple examples of how powerful the tongue is. There's some things that I have said that have happened almost immediately after I said them. And I'm like, wow, this is why we must continue to embrace this excavation. It may be painful. It may be tiring. It may be heavy some days, some weeks, but nonetheless, it is all for our greater good. And because it's for our greater good, we have to continue to speak power over our lives. Everything that we want in our businesses, everything we want in our careers, everything we want in our lives, we have to continue to speak power and positivity over it, because once we say these words, they are going to circulate into the atmosphere, and eventually they are going to fall fresh onto some tangible things that we can touch, that we can see. And these are the results of the fruits of our labor. These are the results of that excavation that we endured. These are the results of everything that we manifested through prayer, petition, and faith in our lives. So right now I'm going through an excavation. You may be going through an excavation. There may be some old habits, some bad habits. It may be some things in your life that have to be dug up, scraped away, and cleaned out before you step into this new chapter in your life. And that's what I want to share with you. So even though that cold that I had battled last week on last week's episode has gone, even though my voice is back, my energy is back, I was feeling weighed down mentally. And I had to ask myself, why do I feel this way? And I feel this way because there are still some things I have to address, and I have to eliminate, I have to excavate, I have to clean out before I move into this next chapter of my life. Everything that I want, everything I desire, I have to make room for that. There is no room for it as long as I have all this old dirt, all this old soil within me. There is no room in your life for all those blessings that you are impatiently waiting on. There is no room in your life for all those things that you know you deserve. You have to clean it out first. You have to excavate your spirit, your soul, your mind. You have to get all of that old dirt, all of this baggage, all of these bad habits. You have to clean house so you can make room for everything that is coming to you and that is destined to you. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. The excavation process is tiring, it's mentally draining, it's physically draining, it's emotionally draining. But it's a necessary process. You have to ask these hard questions to yourself, and you have to do the work on yourself to clean everything out, to make room for everything you desire and everything that you want. So if this podcast has benefited you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, leave a 5-star review. And number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you next week.